What's going on, guys? Caught4 Runs here. Today we're doing our $700 full setup video. Full setup, which includes keyboard, mouse, OS, and a monitor. This is also a full PC. This can handle Witcher 3 at a mixture of medium and high settings and still get 30 FPS and never dip below it. It's a good rig, but I wouldn't expect to have it, last you. You're definitely gonna have to upgrade it after like 4 to 5 years, which gives you a really good time frame to upgrade. I mean, the upgrade path on this PC is really good, so stick around for that. So let's start off with the CPU of this build. So I went with the G3258 Pentium dual core processor. It runs at 3.2 gigahertz stock. Gigahertz stock. Keep in mind though, since the Pentium has such a low since this Pentium has such a low heat output, because it's a Pentium and it's power efficient as heck. This thing doesn't really give off as much heat, so I've seen people overclock this thing at 3.6, 3.7 gigahertz and still get it's still stable. And it was on the stock cooler though. Keep in mind the stock cooler, like the piece of trash CPU cooler that Intel gives you. So definitely a good CPU that you can overclock. It runs on the LG1150 socket, 3.2 gigahertz base frequency, obviously, 3 megabytes of Intel Smart Cache. It supports up to dual channel DDR3 1333 megahertz. That's the only downside. The speed that you can run memory at on this thing is so low. But now let's go to our RAM, and I picked up a single stick of DDR3, 8 gigabytes. Running at 1600 megahertz. You might be wondering, wait, why did I pick a 1600 megahertz stick if this can only handle 1333 megahertz memory support, DDR3 1333 megahertz RAM support? That's because later on, you ever really think about this, 4 to 5 years down the road, are you gonna still be rocking this Pentium G3258? I mean, realistically, you're probably going to already be, within the first couple of years, you're probably already going to be upgraded to i3 or an i5 processor that's amazing. This is good for the money, too. $36 for 8 gigabytes of RAM, I mean, that's a good deal in itself. I mean, I'm only doing Amazon here. I mean, I do Amazon because it's like worst case worst, use Amazon. I mean, it's usually pretty in the middle. I mean, but you could probably go on Newegg. I've seen Cold and Mush do a video. There was a kit of G-Skill on Newegg for $30. That's a good deal. $6 cheaper. So far we've seen this. So yeah, this is really good RAM. Crucial Ballistics is good. Crucial is a really good brand. Right now, I'm using Corsair Vengeance because it had a cheaper deal on their 16 gigabyte kit during Christmas time when I bought it. So now let's go to our motherboard though. Our motherboard, I picked up the Gigabyte LG1150 socket, obviously, because we're using I think it's Broadwell, don't quote me on that. H81 chipset though. It has USB 3.0 ports, SATA 6 gigabits per second, and it has an HDMI port on the motherboard, which I don't know why you use that, but I guess you could use it if you wanted to. It has a dual UEFI. I don't know how you pronounce that. I'm just saying like EFI or something. UEFI. But UEFI is pretty much BIOS, but it supports keyboard and mouse. Keyboard and mouse is so much easier to work with on that. So I mean, this is definitely good for $51 though. Keep in mind, this is an amazing motherboard. The only downside to it is really it can't run SLI or Crossfire. which you're not probably going to be doing on this anyway. I mean, a single GPU will run you just fine unless you're trying to do 4K, which I wouldn't expect to get out of any computer right now on every game, except you'd have to spend a lot of money, pretty much is what I'm saying. Another con though is it only has 2 RAM slots, which isn't gonna be a really isn't gonna really be like a bottleneck. Like, it's not gonna hold you back in a sense, because you could buy, since this is a dual channel motherboard, it can support 8 gigabytes in dual channel. You can run 16 gigabytes in dual channel of RAM. You could run almost anything that you can use 2 RAM DIMMs on dual channel on this motherboard. And it supports 1600 megahertz too, so our RAM isn't going to be we're going to be able to run the speed of the RAM once we upgrade the CPU after a little while. So you're not going to really have any issues with this motherboard too, because even as it stands too, it supports 1333 megahertz. So your RAM's just going to be forced to run at a slower speed. Next on the list is our 500 watt power supply from EVGA. It is a worst case worst, it's 80 plus bronze, but I got a strong feeling it's something higher, but I think it's 80 plus bronze. The downside to this though is it's not fully modular. It's non-modular actually. But non-modular, it's still easy to work with. It's just a little harder. I mean, fully modular would be more ideal working. If you're using anything lower than ATX, it'd be ideal to have fully modular or at least semi-modular. But it's not going to be, it's going to be pretty easy to work with fully, no. Why do I keep wanting to say fully modular? It's going to still be pretty easy to work with non-modular. When I had a non-modular power supply, cable management was still easy. You just had a little more bulky. But I mean, if you run your cables good, you're not going to have any issues with non-modular power supplies. It has all the cables you're going to need for this build, so keep that in mind. And now let's get on to the next one with our storage. Our storage, I picked a 1 terabyte Caviar Blue Western Digital hard disk drive. I couldn't fit an SSD though, but this does runs at everything you need. 7200 RPM, SATA 6 gigabits per second, 64 megabyte cache, everything you need it to do. Like I said, it has it's 1 terabyte. Keep that in mind. Nobody's gonna use more than a terabyte these days. I mean, even I haven't filled up my 1 terabyte drive. I use a Caviar Blue. I haven't filled it up yet. I still have 500 gigabytes left, and I record tons of video clips, and I have tons of programs. I have so much stuff on my computer, it is ridiculous, and I haven't even filled up I've barely filled up half the drive. Like, I'm not even close to breaking half the drive yet. Like, I have 20 gigabytes before I go into the other half of my hard drive. So next on our list is our graphics card, main part of this build. Really small. I mean, you could probably fit this in you could easily fit this in a mini ITX build. It's GTX 750 Ti. Yeah, 2 gigabyte GDDR5 version. The connections on it are as follows. It has a dual link DVI, it has an HDMI, and it has a display port. There's also an adapter included with this graphics card that lets you take a display port, I believe, and put it to VGA if you use VGA monitors still, which, I mean, if you're buying this whole setup, you're not going to have a VGA monitor, just saying, monitor. So, now let's kick it off. Now let's go, not kick it off, but now let's go to our next part of our build, which is our case. For the case, I picked the Vivo Mid-Tower ATX case. It has 2 USB 3.0 ports, and it has 2 USB 2.0 ports on it. I don't know why it would have USB 2.0 on it if it already has USB 3.0. I think it may be just to add more ports. For those of you that would like more ports on your case, can support VGA. I don't know what any of this. Yeah, screw that. What I was about to say. But it has everything you'd need. It has all the good ventilation. Ventilation is good on this case. Is what you really need in a case. Good ventilation and good USB ports, though, which this case also has. has. So now let's go to our next parts, which is the peripherals. So for the keyboard and mouse, actually, I went with the keyboard mouse combo from Bluefinger, I think. No, yeah, Bluefinger. Yeah, Bluefinger, I think. This is the keyboard and mouse combo. It's the cool crack pattern combo, which is blue. I think you can change it though. I believe, yeah, you can change the LEDs. The one I have, you can change from red, blue, and purple. And you can also make it breathe in the same color, or you can make it go fade out, and then it would go to the next color, which is blue, and then so on. So you can do that. You can change the brightness of it. So I mean, if you don't want the LEDs to light up at all, you can. I'm changing that right now. You can do pretty much stuff, almost anything. And another good thing about this is it comes with a mouse pad. Like, a lot of people don't, I mean, like, a lot of people take mouse pads for granted. They are amazing. Oh my god, I love mouse pads now. Like, when I didn't have one, it was so hard for my mouse to pick up the, like, for my sensor to read and everything, and I would have issues reading in game. Mouse pads are the best. If you don't have one, this combo gives you one, and you don't have to use it if you don't want to use it. I mean, it's just a cool bonus. I mean, $34 is good. I mean, it's amazing, and a mouse pad is awesome if you don't have one already. This is actually a high quality one too. I got this with my keyboard and mouse combo. No, I didn't buy the keyboard and mouse combo, but I bought a keyboard from them, and this company gives you a Bluefinger mouse pad the whole time for all their products, I think. And their mouse pads are high quality. When I didn't have this 3-foot mouse pad, keyboard and mouse, when I didn't have the 3-foot pad that I use now, that mouse pad was amazing. So you're not gonna have any issues with this at all. You can also pick from different ones. You can pick the rainbow one, which, to be honest, I'm thinking about getting. Dude, that looks dope. That looks awesome too. You can get rainbow and white rainbow, which is awesome. Next is our OS. So for the OS, I went worst case worst. I got a $120 USB flash drive for Windows 10 Home. I tried to go the most expensive on this, because at the worst case worst, you're going to be using a USB, which costs the most, which is why I'm saying this. If you really wanted to go pro, you'd have to go spend $80 more on this. But I mean, I kind of I went with the most expensive Windows 10 Home license, just for those people that don't want to use DVDs. So yeah, Windows 10 Home, not much to say about it. I mean, I use it, amazing. I've never had any issues with it. So yeah, great OS. Let's go to the monitor. So for the monitor, I picked the BenQ GL2460 HM 24-inch 1080p 60Hz LED lit monitor. So this monitor is pretty good. I'm thinking about picking one up myself once I get the space and I get once I get my setup fully made and everything. I think I'm gonna invest in one of these monitors for games and stuff. So this monitor has a 2 millisecond response time. Isn't bad at all, actually. Be amazing. It's awesome. The connections are D-sub, which I believe is VGA. It's the blue one. The blue plugs, it's usually a blue plug on your thing, and it screws in with screws. I believe D-sub and VGA are like the exact same thing. It has a DVI port, which I think DVI dual link DVI, I think, and DVI are like compatible with each other. I don't know for sure. Like, DVI will go into a dual link DVI port, and any dual link DVI cord will go into, no, I think it's only DVI can go into any DVI port, I think. I don't know for sure. You can tell me in the comments if I'm right or wrong, But no matter what, you have a HDMI port on this, so I mean, your graphics card is going to support this monitor no matter what. 1080p 60 Hz, like I said, so you can play any game you want as long as the graphics card can do 60 frames per second or lower. You could VSync it at 30 FPS too, and still make it look smooth without that screen tearing, which really sucks, which is a good thing. I mean, if you really wanted to, and you're only using Counter-Strike, you're only going to be playing like Counter-Strike or Minecraft, at that matter, you could invest in a higher hertz monitor and stick with the same setup. So yeah, keep that in mind. So basically this, whoa, that's weird. Now let's get rid of that. So that's all I have to talk about this monitor. Also, almost forgot, this monitor, it has built-in speakers. I don't know if I already said that. It has built-in speakers. They're not the greatest, but I mean, it's a feature you'd like to have. I mean, say you wanted to hook up your Xbox 360 or your Xbox One or your console, like your PS4 or your PS3, through HDMI to this, you'd have built-in speakers if you wanted to use this monitor to hook up your console to. I mean, yeah, I mean, good feature to have if you don't have a headset. So yeah, that's about it for this $700 setup. The grand total was actually $687.88. Again, though, this isn't including shipping, but the only thing that had shipping on it was the case, which I think I left out by accident. Oh no, I went over this case. Okay. So the grand total was $687.88, not including shipping, like I said. Definitely, if you want a $700 setup, this is a pretty good one. I mean, I'm not saying it's the best. You could probably get more bang for the buck if you looked longer and you went on those good sales. You went on other websites too. Don't use just Amazon for your stuff. I mean, Amazon can have good deals, like the power supply, I believe, was a good deal. Sometimes Amazon can have good deals. Sometimes Amazon is just poop. Check on other websites. You can go on NCIX. Newegg, I know, is a good one. PC Part Picker, though, PC Part Picker is amazing. They go on there and you can put this stuff in yourself, and you can look for the cheapest deals on all the websites. Actually, I'm not gonna make you go put it in yourself. After I finish recording this video, I'm going to go put all these parts on PC Part Picker, and I'm going to link that in the description for you guys, so you can go see where the cheapest deals are at. I'll see you in the next video, and I'm out. Peace out.